Welcome back to another episode of Stand on Guard. I'm your host, David Crayden. Welcome to Sunday, August 18th. Or is it the 19th? No, just kidding. And we're very happy to have you here. It's a beautiful day wherever you are because we're still free. How much longer, though? How much longer? That's the question I asked this morning.
So we are in a very precarious position in this country. We need political change, but we also need the resolve to resist.
Yes, please ring that bell. Smash that like button. Give us the thumbs up, whatever you need to do to say we like this station because YouTube doesn't always. Thank you so much for your support yesterday, watching that broadcast about monkeypox and the bird influenza and all of that. We need to discuss these things and we need to get the word out about all of this. Censorship is a horrible thing, whether it's big tech or whether it's the Trudeau government or whether it's your local RCMP detachment. Now, this really bothers me. This story I saw this morning, I was up at 5:30 this morning trying to put something together, thinking, what is interesting? And I can't believe it. My worst concerns, I'm not say fear, I'm not afraid. They want us to be afraid. But talking to Tamara Leach and Chris Barber this week in courtroom, these guys have been through hell and back as a result of standing up for freedom, and they're not afraid. They're still not afraid. The government wants them to be afraid, but they're not. And we cannot be afraid. We have to fight back. I want to show you the story. It is just absolutely incredible. BC woman arrested after racially offensive social media content. You remember what we've been talking about? What's happening in Britain over these riots because people are disagreeing with the immigration policy of the government. People are disagreeing with the two-tier justice system of Herr Keir Starmer. Yeah, they're very upset about that. And police are literally coming to the doors. Now, I'm just going to read a little snippet from this because it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting. Police say the woman was arrested on August 7th, but has since been released to appear in court at a later date, while prosecutors consider several possible recommended charges. Police declined to share the suspect's name or the account she allegedly used to make the post. Okay, we know now it's RCMP spokesman Corporal Carmen Geiner said the account on X was brought to the attention of police by concerned citizens. So in other words, the bloc political appointee decided to turn her in. And members of the media. Wonderful. Members of the media who don't believe in free speech because they're being paid off by Justin Trudeau decided to turn this woman in. Over the last month, we've received numerous tips. We've acted on all of them. We're gathering all the information that we are receiving from the public as well as doing our own investigation, Carmen said. How lazy ass can the cops get? I mean, let's face it. They sit around looking at social media posts instead of going out arresting real criminals. They have become the bloody thought police in this country. I mean, this is absolutely outrageous. Yes, and I can't say that word enough. This is just bloody outrageous. You got people coming to your door. You think it couldn't happen here? Look what happened in the UK. Let's remind ourselves of this.
So,
what do you mean I can't have any alcohol?
Okay, well I'll tell you. Okay, the time's 20 to 3, 14:40. I'm arresting you on suspicion of improper use of the electronic communications network. I'm just
what?
127 of the Communications Act. Okay, so you do not have to say that may harm your defence if you do not mention one question, something which you later are in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence. Do you understand that?
So I'm actually being arrested?
You're going to be arrested, okay?
Right.
Take you back to the police station.
Right.
You, okay, this is in relation to some comments that you've made on a Facebook page. Okay?
Oh, really? Oh, it's a Facebook crime, is it?
Okay.
Facebook
so
crime.
we need to ask you some questions about that.
Right.
Have you got anything in your pockets, Thomas?
I've got my keys. I got. No, it's made it. I think keys.
So, anyone who's been arrested, we can search them under Section 32 of the Imprisonment Level Act.
Right.
And that's for dangerous items.
I mean, you said I was going to be arrested under some what information? I'm going to be arrested for posting on Facebook.
Made some comments that are offensive, obscene, and people have made a complaint about that, and it's transferred.
Can you tell me what this comment was?
All right. Do you see the correlation here? This grandfather in the UK is getting arrested because of a Facebook crime because they received complaints from some of the local residents. And this is exactly what happened to this woman in Chilliwack. And I don't know what she posted. And you know, I'm the last one to ever encourage people to post stupid things on the internet, racist things, things that are blatantly designed to create division and hate. I'm the last one that does that. I like to create discussion. I like to create debate. So I don't know what this woman posted exactly, but I sure as hell don't want the RCMP deciding what's socially acceptable, or my neighbor down the street who doesn't like me because maybe the grass wasn't cut on time to go and report me. And this is what happened to this poor guy in England. And this is what happened in Chilliwack. So it's happening here.
When do you need to take them?
Well, I've got pain medications. I've got sleeping medication. I've got anxiety medications, which I might take one of those in a bit.
Betty's got anxiety.
You know?
Well, if we take everything with us, then you've got everything there, haven't you?
And then
Okay.
we've got a
Convenient.
nurse up there. They'll be able to.
Okay.
They'll be able to come and see you, and then once you've been there, they can assess whether or not medication can be issued. All right. So what we're
And soon she'll be able to walk and talk like a regular lady.
going to do is, you want to pop yourself up. We're just going
All
to
right.
search.
You need the glasses
Search you.
to come with you.
My glasses.
Yeah. Do you want to take them with you?
Don't forget your glasses. It might be the last time you ever see them. But that is, it's happening in Canada. If you think it can't happen here, yeah, it can. And we're going to get to the UK actually wants to extradite you back like you ever lived there. They want to bring you back to the UK to stand trial if you're part of the thought crime, if you're part of the Facebook crime syndicate that they're after. And we'll get to that in a minute. But this is how serious these boobs in England are. These so-called judges. They got the justice system is working hand in hand with the police to intimidate people who dare to post anything on Facebook that might ruffle the feathers of Herr Keir Starmer and his communist government.
Have been committed for sentence, having pleaded guilty to an offence of publishing written material which is threatening, abusive or insulting, intending thereby to stir up racial hatred. The context of your offending is that it arises out of the civil unrest and disorder in many parts of the United Kingdom. On the night of the 2nd and 3rd of August, the Britannia Hotel in Leeds was attacked by people who threw missiles which damaged windows.
What, heat-seeking missiles?
The police were called, and on the 3rd of August, the hotel was locked down for the protection of those who were living there. At the time, there were 210 occupants, many of whom were foreign refugees and asylum seekers. Similar attacks to the hotel were launched on the 4th of August. The police attended on each occasion, and units were deployed to safeguard the hotel and to provide an increase in the police presence in the area. In between the two attacks, you took to social media in order to encourage others towards participation in the attacks upon the hotel. As is recognised on your behalf, this offence is so serious that an immediate custodial sentence is unavoidable. Would you stand, please? The sentence that I pass has been reduced by 1/3 to reflect your guilty plea. The sentence is one of 20 months imprisonment. You will serve up to 1/2 of your sentence in custody before you are released on licence. If you fail to abide by the conditions of your licence, you can be returned to prison to serve some or all of the remainder of the custodial term. The victim surcharge will apply, and I will make a collection order.
Okay, look at this supercilious, butt-licking judge. Sentence this guy to prison for a social media crime. Now, I know I've shown that video before, but it's unbelievable. You need to see it again and again and again, because this is what's happening now in Canada. We're not even having riots in the streets, but the RCMP decided to pick up this woman because they deemed what she was doing to be offensive, racially offensive, discriminatory. And they won't even say why. They won't even say what the material was. Of course, you're going to imagine the worst. Oh my God, she must be some kind of Nazi. We have no idea what she's promoting. But I sure as hell, I'll say it again, I don't want the local RCMP detachment coming to anybody's door and suggesting you're committing a social media crime and we have to arrest you for it. I'm sick of the cops doing this. Let's face it, I supported the police all of my professional life. I was in the military. I was in uniform. I had shared values with police forces, the RCMP, provincial police forces, local police forces. And a lot of them, of course, do their job well. But let's face it, when the cops were arresting our political opponents, when it was all about arresting people suspected of being communists or leftists or hippies or some kind of deviants or some kind of seditious people, we kind of said, that's okay because I don't like those people. We let them get away with it. Now it has turned on its head, and the police are going after ordinary Canadians who disagree with woke, leftist, progressive ideas from the Trudeau government. That's who the cops are targeting now. And now we realize, hey, just like that famous saying from Nazi Germany, where the guy says, when they came for the communists, I said nothing because I wasn't a communist. When they came for the socialists, I said nothing because I wasn't a socialist. When they came for the Jews, I said nothing because I wasn't a Jew. When they came for me, there was no one left to say anything for me. And that's exactly what's happened here. They have turned their focus from the traditional opponents to people who simply disagree and who want to exercise their free speech. You and I are the enemy now of many police forces in Canada. We are the enemy of the Trudeau government. Thank you. Thank you very much. I see we have a Goku Nanny. Yes, I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Thank you for your support because we need to fight this. And I say, I want the police not to be going after people for what they think or what they say. The police are there to arrest criminals, real criminals, for committing real crimes, not social media crimes. We have crossed the line in this country, and it's unacceptable. And you think it can't happen in Canada? Well, it just did. And this is why this story this morning is seminal. It's groundbreaking and it's earth shaking because it can happen and it is happening in Canada, just like it's happening in the UK. What else is happening in the UK? Craziness. UK police commissioner threatens to extradite and jail Americans or Canadians for social media posts. I found this absolutely ridiculous. And I just read a bit from this story here. London Metropolitan Police Commissioner Mark Rowley has issued a warning that American citizens and others in the world could face legal consequences for social media posts that violate UK laws, leading to extradition to their country. We will throw the full force of the law at people. And whether you're in this country committing crimes on the streets or committing crimes from further afield online, We will come after you, Rowley stated. When he was asked by a reporter about people such as Elon Musk and dealing with people who are whipping up this kind of behavior from behind the keyboard, who may be in a different country, Rowley answered the reporter, affirming his position to pursue legal ramifications for others. These people are nuts. These people are insane. These people are evil for suggesting now we're going to extradite people back to England, even if you never lived there. It totally redefines the meaning, the definition of the word extradite. But watch this great clip. I rarely play a whole clip, but this is from the Jimmy Dore show yesterday. Now, Jimmy used to be just a left-wing comedian who I probably never would have listened to. The pandemic transformed his politics. He's now a no-nonsense guy who just doesn't want to take BS from any corner. And he's a fierce advocate of free speech. The funny thing about this, and it's hilarious. It's a great skit. Now, this is a parody. You think it's real. That's what makes it scary. You think this was real because that's where we are in the world right now. This isn't a real police officer on the phone with him. It's an actor. But the actor is saying exactly what real police officers in the UK and increasingly in Canada are saying. We're going to lock you up for what you're saying. It's just hilarious. What makes this chilling is that it's parody, but it's not, because it's real in Canada right now. It's real. And that's what makes this clip chilling, because this could be a real police officer. Let's listen. Please watch the whole clip, because it's funny, but it's also chilling.
We ask the questions around here, but if you must know, this is a British police chief.
Yeah, let's get to the beginning here.
We ask the questions around here, but if you must know, this is a British police chief.
a British police chief calling me?
Right.
Can you be more specific?
This is Chief Constable Nigel Dudley of the Municipal Police of Wolverhampton, Cheesethorpe upon Stoke. Is this Jimmy Dore?
Yes, it is.
I have some questions for you, sir, and I would strongly suggest you remember that this is an ongoing police investigation. Several days ago, did you or did you not repost, formerly retweet, a post, formerly tweet, dated August 9th of this year from an X account called The Vigilant Fox, stating that 3,300 people have been arrested for social media posts in the UK in the past year, and implying that Russia has a more free society than the UK?
I did, yes, I did.
Well, that was one of the easier confessions I've obtained. Mr. Dore, you in violation of several counts of the UK social media code, and we need you to report to station immediately for arrest.
Your police station in England? I live in Los Angeles.
I do believe they still have airplanes, last I checked.
I think the more important point is that I'm an American and not a Brit.
Sir, if you think you can sit across the pond and violate our laws and get away with it, you are gravely mistaken. In case you didn't realize, our nation and yours have an extradition treaty, so the posting of misleading information will have real consequences for you Americans.
This can't be for real. You must be joking. You're jailing people for posting misleading information about the riots in the UK?
Oh, yes, with stiff sentences too, I might add. Right.
I see online that there have been arrests for social media posts, but the articles never state what exactly the posts were.
Well, of course not, you daft bint.
Yeah.
Then we'd have to arrest whoever wrote the news article for spreading misleading information. If someone spreads misleading information and then you say what they said, whether you mean
Does that sound familiar? You never really know what the posts were.
to or not, you yourself are spreading misleading information.
This is insanity. You know that, right? Don't you have freedom of speech over there? Freedom of the press?
Well, of course we have these things, and we've had them much longer than you have, I might add. But just because we have freedom of speech doesn't mean the government can't control what people say.
Well, yes, it does. Actually, it absolutely does mean that.
Well, perhaps in your juvenile American grasp of the concept.
Doesn't
But here in the UK, we have a more sophisticated, nuanced approach to the topic, which allows us to imprison people for sharing videos on Facebook.
How can sharing a video be misleading information? It's literally a visual depiction of something that happened.
Not if it incites racial hatred. Another arrow in our law enforcement quiver. If you are white and share a video of migrants rioting, say, then it is off to jail for you, because that's racist. And as Director of Public Prosecution, Stephen Parker pointed out on the BBC, even if you shared such content to warn people in the area where the video was taken, that's still racist. You will still be prosecuted.
This is unbelievable. This is what the police do all day over there?
No,
Not here.
not just. UK law enforcement proudly brings its heavy hand down upon these vile rioters themselves. Why, just recently, a 42-year-old woman named Leanne Hodgson was jailed for 2.5 years for repeatedly pushing industrial bins at a police line in Sunderland.
Industrial bins.
A large trash can, essentially.
Oh, so a middle-aged woman is going to prison for 2 years because she tossed a trash can at police in riot gear during a riot.
Right.
Are you worried at all that the UK is turning into a police state?
I assure you the last members of a society to worry about the slide into fascism are law enforcement. Rising sea levels worldwide don't concern the fish.
Unbelievable.
But to answer your earlier question, yes, the vast majority of the police force is dedicated to combating online hooliganism. We have pulled our best veteran bobbies off the streets, placed them in front of a laptop, and instead of fighting actual crime, they are scouring social media for distasteful posts and comments. Police work at its finest.
Oh, yes, truly.
Allow me to hold the phone up to the social media task force room so you can hear firsthand the grinding wheels of justice as our men in yellow react to what is said in Facebook groups. Here. What's all this then? 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 As you can hear, Mr. Daw,
It's laughable,
law
but it's
enforcement
chilling.
is not to be trifled with in the United Kingdom.
Yes, clearly.
Right. So, now that you realize what you're up against, can we expect your surrender?
I'll get right on that. How much time do you think I'm going to be doing for my crime?
Well, it's not for me to say, but I'd suspect somewhere between 15 and 20 months, depending on how much you grovel to a man wearing a powdered wig.
How much time would I serve if I said it? It seems to me that the people of a country ought to have some say about the country's immigration policy, or at least have the freedom to express their displeasure with it.
Well, you see.
Anyway, and he goes on to say that he has to get off the phone because he has to track a 12-year-old who's been suspected of hate crimes or social media crimes. This is chilling because it's exactly what could happen. Yes, that was an actor there. This is a bit of a War of the Worlds phenomenon. A lot of people are watching that and saying, "My God, that's a real police officer." It's not. Jimmy Dore made it quite clear that that's an actor, but the actor is saying things that could be said by real people, by a real police officer. That's how crazy the atmosphere now is in the UK, and it's that way in Canada. We have psychotic people writing the laws in this country, people who hate free speech, people who want you to be muzzled, to be silenced. And that little skit was more real than a lot of the news that you see on the mainstream media, which is applauding this. Who turned this woman in Chilliwack? Her neighbors and the local media. That's what we're up against. I'll leave it at that for today. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back tomorrow with more of the news that you need to know. Until then,